the 23rd Rally of New Zealand. 76 cars from 15 different countries let loose on the road to Rotorua. Rally of New Zealand, and first up those country roads on the first leg from Auckland to Rotorua, 9 special stages with the regroup at Manu Bay near Raglan, followed by the second regroup at Otorohanga before the overnight halt here in Sulphur City. First away is the reigning world champion Carlos Sainz from Spain in Valencia, the man who gets the countdown to start the 1993 Rothmans Rally of New Zealand. He's been there and done that. The triple champion, can he defend his title this year in the Lancia? Hasn't been the best of years though, with crashes at Monte Carlo, a spectacular role of the Portuguese rally. Retired from Argentina last month. His best result so far has been second in the Acropolis Rally. First up, special stage number 1. It's the little 2-kilometre warm-up stage along Totra Park in Manukau. And here comes over the top. Whoa! Sainz!
Yeah, the first stage is the spectator stage, but what a way to warm up.
Really gives the spectators a big thrill there, a 1:13. Next up, the Toyota Celica of Didier Auriol won the Monte Carlo Rally. Had a few problems since then, though. This time, still keeping the Celica on the road.
Yeah, Toyota go into this rally with a 3-point lead, and I'm sure they're looking forward to hanging on to that for this rally.
1:13, matching the time of Carlos Sainz. Now his teammate, the triple world champ, Juha Kärkkäinen. He's got the nickname of the Flying Finn.
Yeah, he's certainly quick and tidy. You know, Juha has a lot of experience in New Zealand, and I'm sure he's going to bring that Toyota home to the finish.
1:13, matching the times of Sainz and Auriol as well. Now the first of the Subarus. Here's the 81 world champ. This is another Flying Finn, Ari Vatanen. Yes!
Wow. Ari's the most flamboyant of all the drivers, and I talked to him after this stage. He's already complaining of it, that the spectators are too close to the edge of the road.
Well, I suppose they want to get a good glimpse of the Ford Cosworths, the Escorts, back into the Group A for the first time since 1979. Francois Delacour.
That's certainly a nice way to start in the Ford Escort in New Zealand.
That's his first time, too, on these roads. 1:15, conservative start there by the Ford driver and his teammate, the Italian Nicky Piacion, who currently leads the World Drivers' Championship.
Well, it's certainly great to see the Fords back in the winning circle and coming down to New Zealand and compete in this rally.
And he's also a little bit conservative, 1:15. Some kids trying to race the rally cars on their farm bikes. This is special stage 2, Spring Hill near Merrimeri, 5.5 kilometres. The man they're trying to race is the young Scot, Colin McRae, on the charge in the Subaru. Spectacular, but sometimes right unpredictable.
He certainly is. Last year he had a bit of a reputation of crashing out of a lot of events. You know, he has a driving style much like Ari Vatanen, and this year the team have tried to slow him down a little bit and try to make it to the finish. But you know, you can't knock him. He's good. He's learning new techniques. He's really charging.
Very quick on special stage 2. Also making a big move is Kiwi Possumborn, and there's another Subaru Legacy. Leads the Australian Rally Champs at the moment. He's just won the Indonesian Rally. Now take a look at this from 3 Sport. What it's like to be the rally driver. This is from the grill of Possum Subaru. You can't get any closer to the action, what we call, Rod,
the Possum Cam. This is fantastic. You know, not very many people get to realize or feel the experience of what it's like for the driver and co-driver to go through these fabulous roads at such speed. It really is a thrill.
Averaging around about 120 kilometres per hour. What about the key thing of the combination between Roger Freeth and Possumborn?
Well, you know, the timing is so crucial. What Roger calls out to Possum there, the speed of the corners and so on, it's absolutely important. And there you can see, you know, Possum's not working too hard. He's not flustered. He's doing a great job, and I think well within his limits.
So he's got to know what the speed is going into the corner, how fast he can come out. But the driving style these days, the old 2-wheel drive, totally different now with the 4-wheel car.
Absolutely, absolutely. The 2-wheel drive cars, you used to have to flick them from corner to corner. Now the 4-wheel drive cars, much more like a race car. You tended to be driving them much straighter and, of course, a lot faster.
Check out these racing lines up and over the brow. Possumborn is absolutely flying on this special stage. This is hometown territory for Possum. 2:51 was the time set by Colin McRae. He's going to match that time, which puts Possum into the top 4 after 2 stages. That's fantastic for the Kiwi.
It certainly is.
Also, Neil Allport, defending National Rally Champion, 5th fastest on special stage 3, jumping into the top 10 and being right up there behind the bumper of Possumborn to remind him about that challenge to be the first Kiwi home. But the man out in front after 3 stages was Ari Vatanen, absolutely flying the Finn and the Subaru.
He certainly is. You know, Ari loves these New Zealand roads. And here you can see him at his best. He's certainly standing on the gas.
Fastest on this special stage to take the lead overall going into the regroup at Manu Bay. And the man who moves in mysterious ways, Vicky Biasion on the Ford Escort. This is Totra Park, stage 1 earlier in the day. One of the few glimpses we've ended up seeing of him in action today. This is stage 2 because bad luck in stage 4. He was the major casualty, rolled, and that was it. The finish of the rally for the man who leads the series. Unbelievable.
It's a real shame. You know, I was putting my money on him. The Ford looked great. He didn't seem to be pushing it too hard. But I guess that's what the sport of rallying is all about.
One mistake, these guys are going so fast, and that's it. Talking about going fast under pressure, the reigning world champion, Carlos Sainz. How good is he in the Lancia?
Oh, he's fantastic. A lot of people have not given him much of a chance this year, seeing as Lancia aren't fully supporting this effort. But, you know, he's a great driver. He's won here 3 times already.
He was the second fastest on stage 4, which, of course, was the killer stage. And talking about kills, here's Ross Dunkerton. He's had problems with the throttle in stage 1. Seems to be going okay at the moment.
Oh, he's got a problem. Look at the smoke coming out the back.
That is the commentator's kiss of death. Poor old Ross Dunkerton there. Looks like, what is that, a blown turbo?
Well, I know what that feels like. You know, I've had that problem. It's either a blown turbo or maybe a complete engine failure. And, you know, not only that, you know, he failed to finish in Indonesia. Possum won there. This is 2 events in a row. It looks like his Asia Pacific series is gone for a year.
And, of course, they're just starting to develop the Mitsubishi Lancer RS this year. Plagued with a few problems in some of the previous rounds of the World Rally Championships, and it looks like Possum Bourne has got the AP series well under control at this stage. All he's basically got to do now, a little bit of a
little sideways there, I think. You know, you sort of panic there and grab the e-brake, I think.
Well, you get those on wet roads, don't you, sometimes,
You
right?
certainly do. Oh, he's going past Ross there. He knows now that Ross is out of it for this year. All he's got to do is get a good, solid finish, and he's in for the Asia Pacific.
Here's the French woman, Christine Driano, in the little wee Citroen with the 12th seed, one of the Group A settings, because she's doing so well in the World Champs, but off the pace compared to the Group A cars. Colin McRae, the Scot, just hanging it loose in the Subaru. This is awesome stuff.
Yeah, but he's having his share of problems, just like the other guys.
Now take a look at this. No back window, smashed to smithereens.
Stage 4, I think it was. We slid a bit wide and just caught a tree and broke the back window.
And also having a few problems in the Subaru is Possum Bourne this time. The chopper's getting a bit too close. He doesn't like that. Lost it.
Oh, he's lost it. He spun it right around.
We went for the hard tyres and they were the wrong choice, and it was really difficult to hold it, and then the helicopter put us off.
I heard that, yeah.
They're a pain in the arse, I guess.
White
close. Yeah. But anyway, and then we stalled it and it took a while to get it going and to back up and get going, and away we went.
So disappointing there for Possum Bourne. Dropped back to the top 10, losing over a minute on the leaders. But of course the real losers here, the Ford Escort team. Mickey Biasion rolled out of stage 4, which means Francois Delacour is all by himself now with the details on how and why. Here's Melvin Hodgson, the Ford team's operations manager. And first on the road here is that man Francois Delacour with a time of 9:38 in this special stage, which meant that he'd basically got up to 1:02. He was in front after special stage 6, and pretty tidy racing lines too, Rod.
Yeah, the thing that amazes me about him, he's so straight and tidy all the time, and obviously just maintaining and carrying a lot of speed, which is just proving to be the way to do it.
So great shots there of the Cosworth Ford Escort. Also Ari Vartman really applying the pressure early on today in the Subaru RS Legacy. Of course they are called Subarus now, not Subarus. And he was second after special stage 6 with a time of 9:37 on this leg.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to see Ari throwing the car around a little bit more. He certainly gets a job done that way, and I think tomorrow is going to be really interesting watching him on those stages.
Well, of course, he crashed out of the Acropolis Rally. That was the first time back since he suffered a back injury in the Paris-Dakar Rally raid, so good to see him back and keeping the Subaru on the road. According to team orders, Carlos Sainz still in there in the Lancia. It has suffered with the lack of development this year, even though it's dominated the World Rally scene for the last 6 years, but he's still right on the medal.
You know, today's been difficult for Carlos. He's been one on the road. He's been basically cleaning all the gravel off the road. I think that's going to be different for him tomorrow. He's going to be even faster still.
Third overall after special stage 6 before going into the 2 night stages after the regroup at Otorohanga. And next up we have Didier Auriol as Carlos Sainz just flicks a bit of the old metal onto the 3 Sport cameras covering the action today. And here's the first of the Toyota Celicas. What do these cars like to drive?
They're a fabulous car, very well balanced, very well sorted out. You know, they're successful in any rally they compete in around the world.
Auriol 9:39 for special stage 6, and he at this stage was 4th overall after looking very promising early on, but just slipping back, although we stayed in that top 5 and still in contention, of course, going into day 2 tomorrow. One of the real charges in the 3 Sport Rally Championship, the 18th seed, the first of the local resident Kiwis. As you can see, it's so confirming the results, and this is the top 10. First up, we've got Ari Vartman in front now in the Subaru, closely followed by Carlos Sainz, second in the Lancia, 4 seconds behind. As you've just heard Francois Delacour explaining why he decided to take a penalty to drop back to third, now 6 seconds off the pace. Then it's the first of the Toyotas, Didier Auriol, 12 seconds behind. McRae in the Subaru, 21 seconds behind. So very, very close between the top 5. Then it's Juha Kankinen, Possum Born in the Subaru. The first big gap now, around about 2 minutes behind the leader. Then it's Gustavo Trellis in the Lancia as well, followed by Neil Allport. Retirements today, Mickey Biasion, of course, the world champion leader. He's out with that rolled Escort. Today, to get a glimpse of these speed machines. Compared to day 1, leg 2 is the longest, toughest day of the rally. 11 special stages, 14 hours behind the wheel, covering 240 kilometres on the road to Gisborne and back. First up, special stage 10, Manawahe, around Lake Rotomar, 24 kilometres through the fast forestry roads.
Yeah, this road is fantastic. It starts out very tight and twisty, can be a little frosty, and you get a little bit of sun in your eyes. Then it turns into a very fast road, returning back to a narrow, tight, twisty road.
And talking about being very fast, Ari Vartman, the overnight leader, fastest through this stage to maintain his lead just by a few seconds.
And it's certainly setting a blistering pace.
Sliding into action, this is Didier Auriol, the first of the Toyota Celicas.
The Toyota's looking good and slowly moving up through the field.
Not quite as smooth as Ari Vartman sometimes. And talking of smooth, this man was 3rd fastest on the stage to move into 2nd place overall, Delacour.
Yes, and I'm sure he's working on that strategy of trying to catch the guys in front.
We're talking about trying to catch the guys in front. Colin McRae getting it sideways.
He's trying real hard. In fact, I'm really surprised he's trying so hard on the first stage of the day. You know, in fact, he could be even losing a little time. Yes, look at that. He's locking it up. He's losing a bit. He's going to nudge the bank. Yeah, that's going to cost him a bit.
But I tell you what, Rod, that's what the fans have come out to see. They love that sort of driving. Him and Ari Vartman, very exciting. And the Subarus, what about Carlos Sainz?
Yeah, and he's trying as well. You know, I talked to Carlos. He's complaining that he's not getting very good traction. Maybe a tyre choice, or maybe it's even the suspension.
Always under pressure in the Lancia, trying to keep up with the pace of the Toyotas, the Fords, and the Subarus. But he's still in the top 5, Carlos Sainz. And this is Joe McAndrew, the current leader of the 3 Sport National Rally Championship. All he basically has to do is keep it in the top 4 of the Kiwis to take home the title this year, and he'll be determined to do that. Now, the Group N Championship is turning out to be a real battle of the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution models. This is the Japanese driver, Fujimoto, with a bit of a revolutionary way of getting around the corner.
It certainly is, and it's very surprising how fast these new Mitsubishis are in Group N.
Fujimoto leads Group N, and this is the guy who's second. A great drive by the Kiwi, Chris Joplin from Hawke's Bay. Second, also driving one of the Lancers as well. And here's one of your old mates, one of the Mazdas in Group N, Facina.
Yes, but they're not quite as fast as the Mitsubishis these days.
He currently leads the World Championship in Group N. Talking of Group N, last year's national champions, Will and Heather Raw, back in the top 20 again this year. They're going into special stage 12. It's the Mighty Motu. It's Ari Vartman, the Flying Finn, who leads just by a couple of seconds in the Subaru Legacy. Right behind him in the Ford Escort Cosworth, it's Francois Delacour. And then 22 seconds behind the first of the Toyotas, Didier Auriol, followed by Colin McRae, the young Scot, 29 seconds off the pace in 4th place, and just a second behind him, the reigning world champion, Carlos Sainz, rounding out the top 5. But incredibly, There's just 1 minute, round about 55 seconds, separating the top 6 drivers, with Juha Kankinen next in the Toyota Celica. And stay with us, because next up, it's that mighty Motu stage. And first away on the Motu, the mother of all stages, 44 kilometres, the longest, toughest stage of the rally, and it's Ari Vatanen trying to hold on to his overall lead.
Just try to be fast and clean, and it's very difficult to know. There are about 1,000 corners on this stage. I try my best and not to make a mistake, and I'm sure that the difference won't be 2 seconds. It will be more either way.
Well, good luck. We'll see you at the end.
Thank you.
But sadly for Ari, the end came far too soon, only halfway through the stage, and he was forced out with broken lower suspension.
A brilliant drive, and it must be very disappointing for him. But there goes Carlos. He's moved into the lead. He knows he's got to pace himself to the end there now. Obviously, the roads are perhaps a little slippery out there.
But boy, is he putting on the pace or what in the Lancia. Look at him fly.
He's certainly trying.
Fantastic shots on 3 Sport, and now leading the Subaru Challenge, it's Colin McRae.
You know, I checked his tyres at the start of the stage. He's elected to go for a much softer compound, a compound that may not make it through to the end.
So how does that affect a stage like the Motu, the choice of tyres?
Well, Didier chose a much harder compound, but he hand-grooved it to give him more grip, and he's gambling on that choice.
So the gamble of the tyres, the gamble of taking on 44 kilometres of the Motu, pretty smooth so far. Didier Uriel.
Get off, good.
And a good move for those rally fans, because here he comes. It's Francois Delacour in the Ford.
You know, I checked his tyres before the start of the stage. He had all the compound numbers taped up so his competitors couldn't see exactly what he was running.
This is on board with his co-driver, Daniel Guadalupe, what it's like to be inside one of these Cosworth Ford Escort Group A cars, very quick through this tight part of the Motu stage, but he's not as quick as Didier Uriel.
No, you know, the tyre he chose was a harder compound. I don't think it was the right choice. I think this is hurting him here, and it certainly reflects.
Neil Allport on the charge in the Mazda, trying to catch up to Possum Bourne and Roger Freeth, and this is what it's like to be on board the Subaru with Possum and Roger.
Left 4, right 4, into left 5 and 40, right 5, 6 to left 5 and right 7, flip left 6 and 30, caution very low, right 3 tight, don't go wide, past the white gate.
You know, Possum's trying to pace himself through this stage here. It's very important you don't lose any time. You just keep the same pace throughout.
And also on the pace, the boys from Bombay, Barry Sexton and Leo Bolt, 10th fastest through the Motu stage. Former National Rally champ Dave Ayling giving the Group N Ford Escort Cosworth a good go through Motu as well. Just like the current new Group N champion, Brian Watkin and Stu Roberts, and their Subaru RS Legacy, trying to keep up the pace and catch up to the Group N challenges too. But spectacular stuff here. Colin McRae, the drive of the day, the quickest through the Motu.
A brilliant performance by Colin McRae, which moves him into the lead. You know, obviously that softer compound really paid off.
He'll be very pleased with that, the young Scot. Colin, 37.57, the fastest through the Motu.
I'm glad that's over.
How was it?
Very, very slippy, and just thought the finish was never coming.
Did you see what happened with Ari Vatanen?
Yeah, I don't know, he's just stopped at the side of the road. Maybe the car's broken, I don't know.
You happy with your performance so far, being the quickest through that big one?
Yeah, very happy. Glad to get that over with.
And McRae was 7 seconds faster than Didier Uriel, who was second fastest on the Motu stage. Delacour lost some valuable time here with that wrong choice of tyres. He was 4th fastest with the 38.39, but Carlos Sainz, a 38.12. He was the 3rd fastest, which actually put him up into 4th place, but boy, it was hard work.
It certainly was. You know, this stage here, the guys had the slowest average speed of any of the stages. Certainly the toughest stage in the rally.
And also sliding his way to the finish, and glad to get there too, is Kiwi Possum Bourne.
Yeah, but he loses nearly a minute to the leaders through here. I think he's looking at the Asia Pacific Series by now.
7th.
Whoa! Neil Allport should have been the next car through. Wonder what happened to him.
Now that's Sepp Heider in the 5-cylinder Audi. Of course, he won the rally a couple of years ago back in '88 driving an Opel. So he's come through in 8th place in the Audi, which means that Neil Allport, who was chasing Possumbourne, has obviously had trouble during the Motu stage, which is a real disaster for him. But he slid through to the finish, so he'll be glad to get there. But I wonder how much time he's lost, and I wonder what the problem's been for the Flying Kiwi.
Well, I'm sure that's a great disappointment to Neil, but he's got a lot of rally to make up on that sort of time. Right? Neil, you lost time in that stage. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, we put the car on its side, Rodney. Not bad. It just missed. We lost grip on the tyres about halfway through, which I figured we were going to go, what's going to happen, and it just got worse and just miscued a corner and got on its side. We had to get out and push it back on its wheels. Yeah, we lost a bit of time and, you know, not a lot of grip to the end of the stage, so...
And first up on these beautiful backcountry roads on the road towards Gisborne and Whakarau, Special Stage 13. Take a look at Carlos Sainz. This is the reigning world champion. This is the style they're all out to beat. Of course, he's driving the Lancia and he's won this rally for the last 3 years in a Toyota. Now, Francois Delacour first up on this measured section. Here's a bit of unofficial timing like all rally fans love to do, right?
Delacour has a reputation of being a tarmac specialist. He's very neat and tidy, very straight. You know, it's much harder to drive like this, but the times show it's certainly the fastest way.
Trying to go the quickest, the straightest, and the narrowest way around these roads. No longer the old sideways flick, as you can see there. 19 seconds, pretty quick so far.
Yeah, that's a good time. You know, he's got to be looking good on this stage.
So it's Francois Delacour and the Cosworth-powered Ford Escort number 3. Remember, this is unofficial. It's just a piece of track along the road, and he stops the clock at around about 36 seconds. No, go a bit longer. 39.1.
Thank you.
Next up, it's Didier Auriol, a great combination, a great comparison as we start the clock between the Ford Escort and a sideways Toyota Celica.
Yeah, Didier is certainly trying a lot harder. This doesn't necessarily, it's faster, but in this case it sort of looks like it. You know, he's pushing harder, but of course it's much harder on the tyres. The tyres are going to wear out quicker, he's going to lose traction, and this is going to affect his overall time at the end of the stage.
Now these two certainly have had a great battle this year. Remember in the first round, Monte Carlo, Francois Delacour was in front, and then Auriol, with a fantastic drive late at night on the last stage, pipped him by just 5 seconds. So what can he do this time?
Well, he seems to know when to go real hard and push it right to the limit.
Okay, around the corner, 38.6, quicker. The quickest so far, but here's the man who's really been flying today, Colin McRae.
Yeah, Colin's been going fabulous today. Here he's looking very neat and tidy. He's doing a fabulous job.
Ooh,
he's putting the power to the road and, you know, sort of maintaining speed. That's the way to do it.
Okay, Colin McRae, the Subaru, famous racing family. His father, of course, Jimmy McRae, and his young brother Alistair, also doing very well in the British Rally Championships. What about the power between the Subaru and the Toyota?
You know, the power in these cars is so equal. The Subaru has a 2.2-litre engine against all the other cars, which are around 2-litre engine. So, you know, it may have an advantage, it may not. It may just have more torque out of the tight corners.
Just a split second slower than Didier Auriol, who's still the fastest, 38.6. Now his teammate, 3-time world champ, Juha Kankkunen.
Oh, you know, Kankkunen is from the old school. He's very flamboyant. He's a bit like Ari Vatanen. He throws the car around a lot more. You know, certainly a lot of fun for the fans to watch. You know, he certainly was my pick for top driver.
Now, he came into this rally with winning form after winning both the Safari and Argentina, but hasn't really flown so far.
No, he hasn't. He seems to have fallen off the pace against some of the other drivers, but he's always there. He's there at the finish. Always a good, consistent performance.
Okay, working with the new co-driver Nicky Grist from Great Britain for the second time in a month, but the first time without Juha Perronen in 8 years. So Juha Kankkunen's time, a little bit slower so far, slower than Francois Delacour. Now it's the Kiwi, yes, our man, Possumbourne.
Yeah, Possum's been going fantastic. You know, I think he's certainly shown the rest of the guys how to do it. It's great to see him get a works ride after persisting for so long. You know, this rally here, he's going to come away with really good points for Asia Pacific. It's certainly going to set him up for a good chance to win the championship.
I was talking to him before the rally, his eyeballs were just hanging out. He just couldn't wait to get out there. Now, of course, I think they'll be hanging out again now as he tries to beat that time of 38.6 by Didier Auriol.
Well, whoops, he made a bit of a mistake there. Looks like there's a bit of bumper hanging off the back of it and the taillight's missing as well. You know, that's rallying. Sometimes you can lose a little bit of concentration and slip off to the side of the road. He didn't lose too much time, so that's not so bad.
Okay, so he won't beat 38.6, and because of that bump, he's the slowest so far, still in the top 7 and the top 10. Neil Allport, now this guy is always on the case, according to the local rally fans.
You know, Neil's a hard charger. He loves the sport of rallying. He loves to throw the car around. You know, sometimes he tries a little hard, but we all do, you know, but he's working at it. He's having a good time. He's certainly trying for his best result he can get.
And what better challenge to try and take on the guys in the Group A cars that currently lead the World Championship when you just put together your Mazda in the backyard in Auckland.
Exactly.
So it's Neil Allport in the Mazda. 38.6, Didier Auriol, who's currently leading the rally at the stage 13. And I don't think Allport's going to do it, but he's very tidy in the top 10, around about 8 and 9, after losing some time in the Motu stage as well. So 39.9, Didier.
And now here's the three-sport player of the day. Take a look at what happens with Sepp Heider. Takes a little quick look at the three-sport cameraman and loses a bit of concentration in the Audi. Of course, one of the former winners of the Rockman's Rally of New Zealand. And a nice bit of wheel-spinning action there at the end of what's been a very exciting second day.
Tomorrow, leg 3, 11 special stages, 107 kilometres on the road from Rotorua back to Auckland from 8 in the morning till 7:30 at night. First away in special stage 20, 17 kilometres along Taupaki, Didier Auriol, who started the day in the lead but lost it, dropping back to second.
And today he's been the vacuum cleaner. He's clearing all the small gravel away, which makes it faster for the other guys. Better cornering, better braking. You know, it's just so much easier when you're on a cleaner road.
And matching stage times with Delacour and also Carlos Sainz, second equal at times too, but the man who really took control was the Highland Fling, Colin McRae, who won the stage by 2 seconds to take the lead.
Colin looked fabulous on the stage. It appears like to me that he's faster than the other guys. He seems to have more horsepower, and he's making the most of it.
Fans also checking out the action along the corners too, in part 2 of the French connection, Francois Delacour. Not too flashy at times, but as the locals say, he's got a flash car, eh, man?
You know, he's looking very straight, very clean and tidy, at times very fast. But, you know, he's not throwing it around like the other guys. Perhaps it's hurting him at times, but that's perhaps his style as well.
Always in the top 3, second equal Didier Auriol for most of the day. Carlos Sainz lost power steering late last night, but boy was he on the charge this morning, winning 3 stages in a row.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's making the most of running 4 on the road. You know, basically the first 2 legs of the rally, he ran 1 on the road. He was the vacuum cleaner, cleaning all that light gravel away. He's enjoying it today.
And the second of the Toyota Celica's Juha Karkkonen. He was 5th overall, but he won special stage 21 by just 1 second.
Karkkonen hasn't been quite so fast in this rally, but at least he's there. He's backing up his teammate to give Toyota the maximum points for the World Championship Series.
And trying to stay in touch too with that drive. And still leading the battle of the Kiwis. It's Possum Board and Roger Freeth in 6th place in the Subaru Legacy.
He's been doing some testing on suspension and differential settings. I'm not sure whether he should be doing that during a rally.
But take a look at this, Rob. This is seen from Possum Cam, the grille in the front bumper of Possum Subaru Legacy. It really is a scream machine over the shingle.
It certainly is. You know, the car's sliding around through here, you know, through the corners.
Oh! He hit the fence when he put his stamp on that New Zealand post, didn't he?
I'm sure he's glad it was there.
Of course, if he gives up his day job, he can always become a fencing contractor. Another Kiwi giving a good go too was Neil Allport in the Mazda, the 323 GTR, 8th overall, 17 minutes behind the leader, but the second Kiwi on the road. And close behind him, the man who still leads that 3-sport national championship, Joe McAndrew in 9th place, 2 minutes back from Allport and recovering from the odd problem yesterday from the Motu and the Subaru.
The Subaru's looking very fast, nice and consistent. These guys now are thinking about making it through to the finish.
Last year, Joe McAndrew lost the national championship on the second to last stage of the International. Today, history almost repeated itself when the national championship almost went out the window and over the bank along with his car.
Joe, I'm really pleased to see you made it out there. What happened?
Yeah, well, the tyres have basically gone off after the 2 stages in a row, and there's a really fast straight coming down there.
Guys really love to stand on the gas and throw their cars around.
Okay, Toyota Celica driver Didier Auriol's first up, leading the rally, of course, from the start of the day. 9 seconds behind, though, going into the stage. He's under pressure. He's got to let rip.
He certainly does. You know, not only is the road very sandy, but it's very narrow. There's a lot of gate posts to get through. A lot of the drivers select normally a very narrow tyre. I always used to like a tyre that was very aggressive in the tread pattern.
And the rumour has it he's had a few problems, according to some of the spectators. They've smelt problems in the rear there.
Yes, they have. Apparently he's had diff problems all day. Oh, he's going a little wide past
Oh, very wide of the Celica. He's lost a bit of time. Still pretty quick, though. 4:14. That means he's still in second place. Here is the man he's going to beat, of course. Subaru Legacy driver Colin McRae. What can he do this time? The man is out in front.
You know, I think Colin's going to enjoy this stage. If you look at the rest of the stages today, he looks really super and throws the car around a lot. This really will suit him.
There he is. The Subaru.
He's looking great, you know. And, oh, he's taking a bit of a shortcut through here. Well, it's a little quicker.
Classic Mike Marshall moves, wasn't it, for many years ago?
It certainly was.
Here he is, down to the second to last corner, whips it round.
And nice and tight as well.
4:13, that's
but up the bank, but that's a little quicker though.
4:13, that's the quickest. He's 10 seconds in front now. And now, third up with that mystery way around Mystery Creek, it's the Frenchman in the Ford, Francois Delacour, even Stevens with Didier Auriol at the moment, second, equal 9 seconds behind McRae. What can he do this time, Rod?
See, I don't think his driving style will suit this stage. This stage, you've got to throw the car around. It doesn't matter to be pretty wild and standing on the gas.
Mind you, it's a bit more like a racetrack for him, so he can let rip here.
Yeah, but no, this road here, whoa, he's taking a bit of a shortcut.
Whoa, slipping and sliding now, the Frenchman. Dusty too, just like Argentina. Recovers.
Yeah, nice and tidy around that last corner.
4:19, which means he's still in third place, 15 seconds behind McRae. So the action continues here at Mystery Creek. Next up, we've got the reigning world champion, Carlos Sainz. Of course, he's in fourth place, just under 2 minutes behind the leader and trying to catch up. He's been on the charge all day.
Carlos should do well here. He's done the stage many times before. He enjoys it as well. Just got to keep an eye on those gate posts.
The flaming Spaniard there letting rip of the Lancia.
A little slow around here.
Whoa, smoking it. It's the right corner there. Okay, Carlos Sainz, what can he do now? Of course, the fastest time has been a 4:13 by Colin McRae, and he's not quite as quick.
But neat and tidy around that last corner.
4:21, which means he's actually lost 10 seconds on the leader, so that's bad luck for Carlos. He'll be a bit disappointed with that. Next up, the triple world champion, Juha Kankkunen, 2 minutes 13 behind in fifth place at the start.
Now, this will suit Juha's style. You know, he'll fire the car around. He'll really stand on the gas.
The sort of style that you used to do, what, throw it in there?
Yeah, you just throw it in there and just point it and squirt it.
So across the ditch, Juha Kankkunen in the Toyota Celica, that crackling turbo.
Yeah, look at that. You know, he's well in control.
Whoa,
nice.
Smokey and the Bandit.
He's got himself set up for the next corner. He's really going for it. It should be a real good time.
So, Kankkunen, what a cracker. On the pace, 4:14, which means he's still in fifth place. Finally, we've got Possum Baum. What can the Kiwi do? Sixth place, just under 7 minutes behind the leader. He's out for a bit of fun.
And I think he's out for a bit of grass, shortcuts and that. You know, you've really got to make the most you can get out of the stage.
Well, in a stage like this, which is basically a spectator sprint, I mean, how hard do you actually have to work like Roger and Possum in the cockpit there with the pace notes?
Well, you've got to work real hard. You know, pretty much the driver will memorize the course, but it's real important that the notes come through to make sure that you don't make any mistakes and don't do any guessing.
Fantastic shots here on 3 Sport with our rally cam pictures. Inside, Possum and Roger of the
Up
Subaru.
to the finish there, around this last right-hander. Look out for the tyres. He clears it, and up the bank as well. Yes, that's the quick way around, I'm sure.
The shortcut, 4:19, which means he's still in 6th place. Spectacular stuff from Mystery Creek at stage. Barry Sexton was on the pace, although he almost went off and over a cliff on special stage 24. His broken gear lever, he's driving with a stump only, and sadly for him, his rally ended on the very next stage. This is the last we saw of him today because he was out with engine problems in the Subaru. Now here is our one-shot corner on special stage 27. You know all about this because I believe you held the record.
Yes, we did. In 1990, we held the record. And the amazing thing is these guys have gone 34 seconds faster. A truly remarkable improvement in technology in these cars.
Didier Auriol whipping up the dust for the spectators. As you can see there, going around that corner. And your time was what, 7 minutes 17 for that whole stage.
And now they turned around and dropped it to a 6:43. Absolutely amazing.
Now take a look at how Colin McRae does the Highland fling through this one on the Subaru.
He certainly looks great.
Spectators love that. Yeah. And still continuing on, keeping the pace up. Of course, he's in front and wants to maintain that advantage going into the final day tomorrow. Next up, we've got Francois Delacour, and just compare his lines, totally different to some of the other drivers, especially Colin McRae, we talked about.
See, it's that driving style again. Very straight, very neat and tidy. And on certain roads, it really pays off. Those are the roads where the traction is the best, and he can just carry speed through the corner. But on these slippery roads like that, I don't think it's working. I think he needs to be pushing the car, sliding it around a lot more.
Talking about sliding it around, Carlos Sainz, a fantastic drive today. He's picked up probably most stages than anyone else, and really just hanging in there in the Lancia, determined not to give up.
You can already see those roads are cleaning up. Only 3 cars have been through ahead of him, but he's getting better grip. He's throwing it around. He's turning in the tines.
Now we take a look at, we've got Will and Heather Orr, and that's not the way to do it. A few parking problems for Will and Heather Orr.
I wonder who's getting the blame for that, him or her?
The husband and wife combination, the former Group N champions. So there's the comparison between how some of the big guns do. Welcome back to 3 Sport, and here's the style of the reigning world champion Carlos Sainz from Spain, who's trying to hang on to his title in the Lancia. Let's take a look now at the map for the final day tomorrow. 6 special stages, and the special stages to watch out for if you want to get out there and check out the action. They include, of course, Special Stage 33, Kiwitahi, 14 kilometres of the gravel grazing country in Albany, just north of Auckland, where Rod Millen made a name for himself in the world of rallies.
You know, these are some of the greatest roads, I'm sure. As you know, I thoroughly enjoyed them. But when they're wet, they're slippery.
Ooh, sliding into action. Here he is, the Scot, Colin McRae. Gets that Subaru around there sideways.
He's having a great time, and I'm sure he's charging. Whoa!
Oh, over the bumps!
he's pushing hard, and I'm sure he's going to be in for a good time.
He wants to maintain that lead. Let's see what his time is. It is 7:31 airborne, the Scotsman. Will it be good enough to hold off this challenge from Francois Delacour and the Escort?
I think Delacour's going to push hard here. This is the stage he can make some time. Then he's keeping it nice and neat and tidy.
Of course, there is that challenge against Toyota 2 for the Manufacturers' Championship, so it's a toss-up if he goes all out for the Drivers' Championship and the Rally, or second place to close off the challenge from Toyota, but he's really going nice and smoothly there.
Yeah, he's got to hang on to that second place. He's driven hard for 4 days. He can't afford to mess it up now.
Well, I tell you what, he's absolutely flying. We'll get a clock on this. Over the top!
Wow!
7:23, and that is 7 seconds. The lead now for McRae, because Delacour's taken 8 seconds off the lead.
Absolutely amazing.
Now it's Didier Auriol. The word is Toyota said he's got a backup from Karkinen. He's going to go for it on the stage as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying as well. You know, the roads are still tacky. He'll try his hardest down here.
Right, let's take a look at the Celica as it goes through the zigzag. Up and over the bumps. Oh!
Yeah, there's got to be a big hole down there because they're trying to shorten it and straighten that bit of road out.
Here comes the time now for Didier Auriol. He's just as quick. 7:24.
Very good.
24 seconds now. The gap from McRae back to Auriol in third. Carlos Sainz, he knows his rally title of New Zealand is gone today. He can't make up the difference. He's out for a bit of fun on the Lancia.
Carlos loves these roads. He loves throwing the Lancia around. You know, he's a great person with the other drivers, with the fans. He fits in just really well.
The triple champion for the last 3 years in the Toyota. Now in the Lancia.
Nice and neat down here.
Of course, he is the reigning world champion, so perhaps that crown may go this year as well. But of course, there's a long way to go. Still a few more rounds in the World Rally Championship. The fans love him here in New Zealand. Juha Karkinen, this is the man who wants a top 5 finish to try and take that lead in the Drivers' Championship.
Well, Karkinen will just be backing up Auriol in the Toyota. He's there for a steady drive to make sure that the Toyota team get maximum points and try to retain their lead in the championship.
Let's see how Karkinen, the Flying Finn, goes through the bumps. 1, 2, 3, and smoothly done by Juha Karkinen.
Nice.
Juha Chuckinen, was that his nickname? Let's see what his time is as he comes down, up and over the bumps. Delacour is the closest for the Drivers' Championship, and 7:30, that's a top 5 performance by Juha.
A good steady drive.
And Grandad enjoyed that as well. Now here's Possum Bourne. out to be the first Kiwi home today, but more importantly, out to finish compared to last year.
So Possum's just got to stay on the road today, not make any mistakes, and make sure he gets a solid finish to lead the Asia Pacific Series.
We're certainly still doing that. Nicely round the corner. 6th place overall, around about 8 minutes off the pace, but still having a great drive to the finish.
And it looks like these roads are drying out a little bit. You know, after a few cars come through, it seems to clean them up a little.
Possum Born 7:35. Here's Neil Allport, 8th on the road. He's had a great drive too.
He has. He had a few problems yesterday, lost a little bit of time. I'm sure today he just wants a steady run and get a good solid finish.
I think his co-driver Jim Robb wants a steady run too after almost being chucked off the road on the odd occasion. So up and up through the zigzag, and Allport always on the case, always going for it, and he stays in 8th place with a top drive. And the race home to the finish continued on special stage 34. McRae pulled back 4 seconds to give him an 11-second lead going into the last 2 stages.
He is flying on the stage. Absolutely amazing for these wet, slippery conditions.
Fantastic car control by Colin McRae. He pulled back another 14 seconds on special stage 35. Unbelievable.
Absolutely amazing. You know, he's going to give it heaps. He's going to make sure he wins.
And into the final stage of Red Forest number 2, and he's just smoking it round the corner. Brilliant stuff by the young Scotsman.
Well, you know, what a great drive for the fans.
Down to the finish, 25 seconds in front of Francois Delacour. That really has thrown out to the challenge of the Ford Escort driver.
I don't know if he can make it. You know, already he doesn't look quite as fast. He's trying to be smooth and consistent. Let's see what he does.
He put the pressure on early on in the day, closed the gap to just 7 seconds at one stage.
He looks a little slower everywhere. I'm not sure he's as quick as McRae.
And I think what he's now doing is driving for that championship points for Ford in the battle up against the Toyota Celica. He wants to finish in front of course, Didier Auriol, who's next on the road. The big challenge is 2nd and 3rd.
That's right. I'm sure they've accepted that McRae's the man on this rally. He's really sticking it to them.
The last stage was maybe 100 kilometers for me because for us it's good for Colin win the rally, but the best for us was to be in front of the Toyota. It's more important for the World Championship. And anyway, it was impossible to catch Colin. Colin was going very, very fast, drive very well.
And this is the battle now, the battle for 2nd place. And it's Didier Auriol. He wants to take it for the Toyota team. And he's closed the gap to just 11 seconds on Delacour.
He would love to get 2nd and extend the lead for Toyota in the World Championship Series.
Well, of course, he did that in Monte Carlo. Oh, a little bit untidy there, but he snatched victory from Delacour in just the last stage. Can he do it this time and snatch 2nd place?
He's certainly trying. He's not giving up at all.
Delacour 5:38 for the last stage, and Didier Auriol coming down to the finisher's time is 5:29.
Wow.
9 seconds quicker, but he misses out by just 2 seconds. Unbelievable. Stays in 3rd place, the Frenchman.
Not long enough.
And he knows he was just so close.
He tried so hard, came so close.
And here's the man, of course, who has dominated the Rothmans Rally of New Zealand for the last 3 years in a row. Carlos Sainz, the reigning world champion, triple New Zealand champion. He knows his title is gone this year, but he's cruising home to the finish after a fantastic drive. Never gave up, the Spaniard.
A great drive from Carlos. He suffered from last year, not fully backing that car this year and giving it the ongoing development program.
And he's going to finish 4th, and once again, really teared on for the Kiwi fans. But here's the man who's going to take over the race for Carlos's title in the World Championship. He'll take the lead in the Drivers' Championship by just 1 point from Delacour. That's Juha Kankinen, a top 5 finish.
Kankinen hasn't been as fast as the other guys in the rally this year, but you know, he's going to be the most consistent for the championship.
And Possum Born, first home of the Kiwis, coming home in 6th place. He'll be glad to get across the finish line this time.
Yeah, Possum's going to be happy. He extends his lead in the Asia Pacific Series. A great drive here.
And Neil Allport coming home in 8th after a bit of a rugged day for the Auckland driver, but still a top effort to match it with the Group A's guys.
A great effort, but you've got to face it. Neil's car's not as fast as the other guys.
Oh boy, did he take it to the man of the moment. It's the sensational Scot, Colin McRae, who gives Subaru their first ever win in the World Rally Championship, and he becomes the 1993 Rothmans Rally of New Zealand champion.
A great drive from Colin. You know, he withstood all the pressure from those other top factory teams and drivers, and, you know, came through to win. A real fabulous effort.
His first ever victory, and boy, is that a sweet moment. The overall results from this year's Rothmans Rally of New Zealand: McRae the winner by 27 seconds from Delacour, Oriole third, followed by Sains, Kankkunen, Vaughan the first of the Kiwis, followed by Allport eighth, and Joe McAndrew takes out the three-sport National Rally Championship, coming home ninth. Fuji, and the other thing the spectators love, the grand finale at Parc Ferme of the Victory Donuts. How Possum Bourne even tries a last stage effort to take over fifth spot from Juha Kankkunen. Yes, well snotted Possum, but one thing he can't stop is Toyota taking the lead in the Manufacturers' Championship, right alongside them at the top, Ford now. And in the Drivers' Championship, Kankkunen has a 1-point lead over Delacour, and with that win, McRae now has 44 points.